Angel Reese has now been criticized by her own coach, and it came immediately after one of Atlanta's most important losses of the season. Reese was not called out by a fan page or some random reporter, but by the coach who works with her every night. He basically said out loud what many people were already thinking. We will get to his exact words, but first you need to see what Reese did throughout the game that led to those comments. Do you think the Atlanta Dream regret trading for Reese? Let me know in the comments below.
Oh, Reese! Par 33! Let's get it! Burn! She's got the yips on wide open layups! Burn! On national TV, Angel Reese did not disappoint. The Chuck and Duck. Bang! It's Angel's Island. Party of one. Nobody around. Bang! Oh, not the crisscross applesauce into the spinaroo. Flippity-doo! Burn!
6 seconds left. The score is tied at 81. Atlanta has the ball, and everyone inside the building knows how important this possession is. Playoff positioning is at stake for both teams. The Dream have a real chance to leave with a huge win against the team they most want to beat. This is the moment. One basket can win it for Atlanta. Indiana's season changes if they cannot get a stop.
Atlanta continues to own the offensive glass here in the fourth quarter. Great board, just could not convert it.
Was pushed under the hoop just enough to not have a great angle. To OT we go.
Ryan Howard receives the inbound and takes a three from the wing with 4.9 seconds left. It misses everything and does not even hit the rim. But the play is still alive because Angel Reese has already boxed out Aaliyah Boston and grabs the offensive rebound. She has the position, she has the chance at the basket, and she has a few seconds to become Atlanta's hero. But there are only 3 things certain in life.
And this might be the greatest meme ever right here, dog. I can't hold you. I can't hold you, man. I was looking at this last night. I said, dog, just watch how she walked by. Just diabolical work. Watch this. Look at this. Man, this is hilarious, man. This is hilarious. My goodness. Oh, man. But let's talk about how they were throwing.
She goes up and the ball hits the backboard before bouncing off the front of the rim. It misses. Naz Hillman grabs the loose ball and throws up a desperate shot before the buzzer, but that one misses too. Atlanta gets 3 opportunities on the same possession to win the game, and none of them fall. Regulation ends exactly where it began, tied at 81, but now Atlanta is the team that wasted a huge chance to win. Look at the Dream bench in that moment. You can see it before any coach speaks to the media. Players are sitting with their heads down, some are looking away, and their body language shows what is about to happen in overtime. On the other side, Clark walks back as if nothing happened. She is already clapping and talking to her teammates about overtime like it is simply the next possession. No panic, no frustration, just business.
With Reese leaking out, finds her, and Reese can't finish. 3 to shoot. Reese will fire a 3. Odd, can't hit. Reese left alone. Reese gets denied by. I'm getting stressed out watching her attempt it. Reese can't. Vegas at 9. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Reese gets denied. Reese, guarded by Timpson. Looking to take it to her. Reese, the footwork, couldn't finish it. Okot keeps it alive.
That composure did not appear by accident. Boston was active in the passing lanes all night, finishing with 5 steals and 3 blocks. She was also the player who battled Reese for the rebound during that possession that ended in the missed shot. Boston had already kept Reese scoreless for a stretch early in the game, while Reese went 0 for 6 from the field with Boston recording 2 blocks by herself. So this was not just one unlucky possession for Atlanta. It was a problem that had been developing throughout the game. Indiana's defense made every opportunity difficult enough that even open looks became misses. The cameras immediately focused on Reese after the ball bounced away and stayed with her. They did not focus on Howard, who took the first bad shot, but instead stayed on Reese, whose expression showed everything. The post-game coverage focused on that same reaction because a shot like that can completely change the way people remember your night. And on this night, The story was about to change in a way Atlanta did not want.
Well, Angel, your team on a 17-4 run right now. You started that with a 7-0 run. How did you kind of get things going for your team?
Yeah, I mean, I was playing like shit.
Regulation finishes tied at 81-81. Every bit of pressure inside the building carries into overtime. 3 shots, 0 points, and a dream team that had the win within reach before letting it disappear. That is the score, and that is the situation. But what happens in overtime, especially what Reese does when the game becomes critical again, is what eventually gets her own coach speaking afterward.
The country's watching. Of course we're getting the patented pray up into a me complain. Bang! Are you a professional basketball player and continuously gallop around like a horsey? Bang! Oh, we're missing the OG brick a 2-footer and then fall to the ground. Oh, wait, there it is! Bang! If only she spent more time working on her shot than at the salon. Pecan? Butter pecan! Bang! Angel Reese clutch Gene for the win! Bang!
Overtime begins and Clark takes control of the game. She plays 41 minutes, a season high, and finishes with 26 points and 9 assists. She shoots 9 for 20 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Those free throws become especially important because of when she gets them. Atlanta fights back in overtime and cuts the lead to 93-91. That is when Clark goes to the line with 10.8 seconds remaining and calmly makes both shots to extend the lead to 4. She then grabs the rebound on the next possession and throws the ball down the court to use time because she knows Atlanta needs a foul to have any chance. That is not rushed basketball. That is a point guard understanding exactly what needs to happen before making the play.
Clark is walking down that MVP. Look, she's going to have to do extra to get it. We know that. It's going to have to be undeniable. You're going to have to put the voters in a position where they look like absolute fools if they don't vote for Caitlin Clark. We know that. But she is starting to put that case together. She's producing more points than anyone ever has. At some point, you got to give it up. But will that happen, or will it remain crickets? Because we know, if it were the other way, if Caitlin was struggling, it'd be loud. Will that same energy be...
Before those free throws, Kelsey Mitchell hits the basket that truly puts the game away. With 13.6 seconds remaining in overtime, Mitchell makes a layup to move Indiana ahead 93-88. The basket also gives her 20 points for the night. That makes 19 straight games with at least 20 points for Mitchell, putting her just 1 game away from matching Aya Wilson's WNBA record. She reaches the mark despite struggling with her shooting, going 9 for 22 from the field while still delivering when Indiana needed her most.
Teammates, Stephanie White says she's seeing the whole floor, doing a jump circle.
Here's Clark, guarded by Sherrod, finds Timpson on the roll. She'll lay it in.
One of the to play fast, push the pace, as does Indiana.
Clark bangs all the way in and finishes. Here's Clark, working behind Boston. Has the switch on Reese, will fire, and hit from 3. Cunningham looking for help, finds Clark. Clark to a wide-open Harris. Her 3 is good.
Then there is Michaela Timpson, a player almost nobody outside Indiana was discussing a month ago. She scores Indiana's first 3 field goals in overtime. It starts with a putback after a Mitchell miss that gives Indiana a 6-point lead and establishes the tone for the extra period. Timpson finishes with a career-high 20 points on 9 for 13 shooting, including 6 points during overtime when every possession matters. Clark creates several of those chances by finding Timpson cutting toward the basket instead of forcing her own shots. That trust is what turns a bench player into a 20-point contributor. Over her last 4 games, all starts, Timpson is averaging 9.8 points and 5.3 rebounds. This is the game where that progress finally shows up against a legitimate playoff opponent.
Between the fever and dream. Here's Clark, guarded by Sherrod, finds Timpson on the roll. She'll lay it in.
One of the things you see right away.
Line, missed the lay. Timpson, the putback is good. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Reese gets denied by Timpson.
Back in the fourth quarter, Stephanie White makes the adjustment that starts everything. Alicia Gray had been attacking Indiana's defense for 3 quarters, so White changes to a zone. Atlanta's offense immediately loses its rhythm. After the adjustment, Indiana holds the Dream to only 9 points in the entire fourth quarter. Atlanta becomes too still against the zone, with players watching one person instead of moving without the ball. There is no real answer because the offense had been relying heavily on individual plays instead of consistent ball movement.
Out to Gray, guarded by Clark, 7 to shoot. Gray, looking to take Clark. Gray fading, can't hit. Great box out Boston, good 16 points. Indiana plus 14 in points off turnovers. Gray can't finish it.
Clark is creating opportunities for Timpson near the basket and finding Mitchell in good spots, while Atlanta keeps relying on isolation plays that the zone completely takes away. Indiana's offense gives several players easy chances, while Atlanta depends on one player to create something from nothing. Against a strong defense, that approach usually fails. Mitchell's 20-point streak and Timpson's career game both benefit from Clark creating opportunities. That is what 9 assists really looks like when you watch the game instead of only reading the box score. Clark is making the players around her better while Atlanta's stars are standing and watching one player handle the ball. That difference between the teams, Clark improving her teammates and Reese failing to create the same impact, becomes the main point of what Atlanta's coach says after the game.
Atlanta Dream, they are not happy with Angel Reese. Angel Reese was an absolute travesty to the game of basketball today. She humiliated herself out there. It was ridiculous. The girl missed about 8 or 9 layups right at the rim. She blew a fast break layup all by herself, and she blew the game-winning layup. Alicia Gray, not happy. Alicia Gray did her part, 34 points, and she's pissed off Angel Reese blew this game. Head coach Carl Semesco also pissed off with Angel Reese for blowing this game, embarrassing the team.
Carl Semesco sits down for the post-game press conference, and the first question concerns the fourth quarter collapse. He does not attack anyone immediately. He starts by discussing spacing and shot selection, trying to keep his answer focused. But as the questions continue, the conversation changes. He is asked about the final possession of regulation, when Reese grabbed the offensive rebound and missed the contested shot. His answer is not what you would expect from a coach protecting his player. He says, "We just had to move on to the next play." Then he explains what matters most. There was supposed to be one screen in there and we kind of forgot the screen. Semesco is saying that Reese and Ryan Howard did not execute the play that was called. It was not simply a difficult shot that failed to fall. The assignment broke down on the biggest possession of the night.
Winning finish to the game, kind of a tough fourth quarter for us, and then we had a chance to win it at regulation, and it just didn't go down. And
we had a chance to win it in regulation, and it just didn't go down. He trying to say it like they missed the 3. She missed a point-blank layup. He's pissed. This is the same man that blasted Angel Reese 4 days ago.
He goes even further. When asked about the fourth quarter overall, Semesco directly discusses the offense breaking down late. Standing around, watching one person with the ball, he says. He then admits that the team had practiced attacking zone defenses all week, but still, kind of went away from what we typically do against zone and just kind of watched one person with the ball. He never directly names Reese, but everyone in that room knows who handles the ball most in Atlanta's offense and who the other players often end up watching.
I try to compete in overtime. I thought players try to execute the game plan really well, especially defensively. It's just disappointing to come up short when we had an opportunity to win.
We had an opportunity. He keeps saying it. We had an opportunity in regulation. We had an opportunity to win. This is directly at Angel Reese. He gonna keep going. He's gonna keep.
Then comes the statement that changes the entire tone of the press conference. While discussing the team's late-game habit returning, Semesco says, "One thing in the past we had trouble with is they get to the fourth quarter and then we just watch one person with the ball try to create everything, and it was just a weird time for that to come back up." He also says, "This hasn't been us all year," confirming that this issue had been corrected earlier in the season before returning against Indiana, with playoff positioning on the line.
We kind of got really stagnant. You still got to move against the zone. I mean, you got to look to penetrate and move the ball, flash into a window and cut. I just thought we got standing around watching one person with the ball. We talked about it during timeouts, but it's still, we haven't seen a lot of zone, but we have worked on it in practice. And I think in practice, we've done really well against it. I just think today, late in the game, we kind of went away from what we typically do against zone and just kind of watched one person with the ball instead of.
That is what makes the comments so important. This is not a fan on social media or an analyst reviewing the game. This is Atlanta's head coach, the person whose job is to support his players when speaking publicly. Yet he is the one admitting that his team returned to bad habits at the worst possible moment. When a coach does not protect the team from criticism in front of the cameras, it can reveal how serious the problem really is. Compare that with Indiana. Stephanie White talks about controlling turnovers and staying disciplined as part of the team's identity, and her players consistently support that approach when discussing the offense. Nobody on the Fever is being criticized for ignoring teammates late in games because the ball keeps moving and open players continue getting opportunities.
At the end of the game that, could have won it for us, but, they rolled out.
He's pissed. We got 2 looks right at the end of the game, 2 layups, and they just rolled out. He's pissed.
Reese still brings important value to Atlanta. She rebounds at a high level and plays with the physical style that shows up in the numbers every night. But the same aggressive ball-focused style that helps her get rebounds can also lead to a missed screen and a contested shot when the game matters most. That is the contradiction Smesko is describing without directly saying Reese's name. Connect that missed layup to the overtime Atlanta never should have needed, and the coach sounds like he is reaching the end of his patience. On the other bench, Caitlin Clark watched everything happen in real time, and her reaction is now spreading across social media.
To take or control the game, but 4 game overall, as Reese can't finish. 10 for Indiana right now. Reese, the crossover. It's tonight from Howard. Reese barrels in, can't finish, tipped out, Cunning. Reese will fire. 5 seconds. Howard launches, missed it badly. Reese, the putback won't go. Hillman.
Immediately after the miss, ESPN cameras show Clark walking behind Reese, who has her face covered with her hands. Clark is smiling, not celebrating or pointing, but simply walking with an expression that suggests she cannot believe what she just saw. The clip spreads within minutes. Social media users repost it with captions saying, Caitlin Clark laughing at her after the missed layup to win by a buzzer beater. The rivalry is definitely still alive. One writer calls it poetic justice, while another calls it one of basketball's funniest lowlights. Considering everything these two have experienced since college, the reaction is easy to understand. Clark and Reese developed their rivalry in the college tournament, with different teams, different styles, and years of history that continued after they entered the WNBA. So when Reese misses the biggest shot and Clark walks past with a smile, fans immediately understand the meaning. It is not only one missed layup. It is another chapter in a rivalry that started years ago.
Atlanta continues to own the offensive glass here in the 4th quarter. Great board, just could not convert it.
Was pushed under the hoop just enough to not have a great angle. To OT we go.
That is exactly why the clip spreads so quickly. Fans repost it, turn it into memes, argue over it, and choose sides almost immediately. Some say Clark is disrespectful for smiling after a missed shot. Others believe she has every right to laugh after everything Atlanta has done against her this season. That second argument makes the game even more uncomfortable because this is not the first time Reese has made physical contact with Clark. Earlier in the first quarter, Reese grabs Clark around the neck while fighting for a rebound in front of 2 officials, and neither referee calls a foul. Clark immediately points toward her neck and asks the officials for a review, but nothing happens. Fans criticize the moment afterward, with some saying it happens every game and others calling it a missed flagrant foul. It does not end there. Reese also catches Kelsey Mitchell in the face and throws an elbow toward Aaliyah Boston during the final seconds of regulation. None of those plays results in a call.
3 things that's guaranteed in life: death, taxes, and Angel Reese missing crucial layups. And my goodness, she missed it at a perfect time. Thank you, Angel Reese, because now Fever can move up in the standings because of you. You blew it for your dream.
Through all of it, Clark keeps playing. During parts of the fourth quarter, she defends Alicia Gray while Reese struggles with late turnovers and fouls as she tries to force plays that are not there. That is the difference many fans continue to point toward. Atlanta plays aggressively throughout the night, while Indiana absorbs the pressure without losing control or allowing itself to get dragged into the physical battle. The victory gives Indiana 4 straight wins, and every one matters with tiebreakers and home court positioning still important. Clark herself does not even consider it a great performance, calling it a B- game for the team. If a B- is enough to beat a playoff team on the road in overtime, it says a lot about where this roster is right now. Add this performance to Clark's MVP case because she scores 26 points and records 9 assists while defending the other team's top scorer against a team that spent the night trying to frustrate her. Now imagine this roster fully healthy for the playoffs, with Boston, Mitchell, Hull, and Cunningham all playing at this level. That is the version of the Fever appearing in 2026, and it is the version every team should be watching. Indiana did not win because of talent alone. They won because Timpson trusted the pass, Mitchell trusted her shot, and Clark trusted all of them with the ball when the pressure was highest. That is chemistry. Chemistry may not appear in a box score, but it appears on the scoreboard. Add that to Clark's MVP argument and it becomes difficult to ignore. 4 straight wins now, with home court still at stake late in the season. And somewhere in Atlanta, the decision to trade for Reese is probably being questioned all over again. Do you think the Atlanta Dream regret trading for Reese? Let me know in the comments below. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more action and top stories. Click the video on the screen and we will see you in the next one.